Hi, my name is Gael. I'm here to talk about myself. I had been wandering around South Ken and just getting to know London. And because I've always been interested in books and the esoteric, I suppose, in a way, I just stumbled on this antiquarian bookshop behind South Ken Station and had a look at the window, and I spotted this book, The History of the Irish Race, by a guy called McManus. So I went in and bought it and started reading it and learned all about the prehistory Ireland, like the Fomorians, the Tuatha De Danann, the Milesians, the Firbolgs, and all these people that had made incursions into Ireland, or allegedly made incursions into Ireland, much before anything to do with Celtic Ireland. And I like so this it presented a story to me of how the Milesians were in Egypt as military advisors to a pharaoh. It was Ramesses II or III. I'm not absolutely sure. Some say Akhenaten. Discovered that this guy, Gael was military advisor, as I said, being military advisor to Pharaoh, had come from Scythia, which was Transylvania, Albania, somewhere like that, and was a prince of some description. Was bitten by an asp and allegedly cured by Moses, who informed him that his descendants would inhabit this island that was uninhabited by snakes, i.e. Ireland. After having problems with a subsequent pharaoh, apparently they left Egypt and travelled one strand through North Africa, the other strand through Europe, and they met up in Spain, where they heard of this island that they have been foretold about. So they set off, and they had various altercations with the Tuatha De Danann, who were inhabiting the island. Now these guys were supposed to be sort of sorcerers and had some sort of knowledge of, I don't know if Pythagoras was around at that stage, but anyway, something like that. And they were regarded as great magicians. But eventually they overcame them, and the Milesians took over Ireland, and I think they founded Tara at the time, which is a corruption of Timor, which became Tiaur, which became Tara. And that basically was the story of the album, about the people in Egypt, leaving Egypt and inhabiting Ireland, setting up these great centres for knowledge and learning and all that sort of thing. And started to write about these things. So when I did the weekend at the Barge, then that was basically, I did the first track on the album, which just me and John Field, the producer, multi-tracking violins, and he played flute obviously, a bit of oboe, and I played a bit of guitar on the thing, this chord structure I got from a friend of mine just showed me these two chords, and I've sort of worked on them, inverted them, etc., etc., and that was basically the intro for the album Division. Having finished the weekend, then John and Tom Newman of the Tubular Bells fame went to Decca with the thing, and I got a deal. And then we started work in earnest. First things was to do all the orchestration, We had a guy, Roger from Boozy and Hawks, who was an absolute genius on notes. We worked and went in decade number 2 in Tollington, and where the Moody's were recorded most of the strings. Did all the strings and then took all the stuff back to the barge and then spent months on the barge overdubbing and editing, etc., etc. With the result that Gael's Vision finally appeared. In the meantime, I had called on Rory Gallagher to know would he come down and do some guitar, and he played his famous Martin on one of the tracks and his Strat on the other. And at the end of that session, I more or less asked Rory, because I was looking for management, and I asked him if he would knew of somebody. He suggested his brother. I had a meeting with his brother, and his brother was really keen to get involved in the project. At that time, then, Decca had changed personnel. Hugh Mendel was gone, had retired, and Frank Rogers had taken over, and Frank wasn't that keen on the album. So Donal basically took the album out of Decca and got me a deal with Polydor, and that was the start of all the sort of the press and whatever else. Did a huge presentation in Dublin and Ireland in a hotel, where all the Irish press were invited. There must have been about 30 journalists in a room, and I got a standing ovation at the end of it, which was really nice. So that sort of kick-started me properly, as it were, as a performer, arranger, writer, whatever, in my own right. Recently, I was just having a chat with Sir Hayden, and he suggested that because it's the 40th anniversary of Gael's Vision, that we do some concerts, which I thought was a really good idea. So we started work on all this sort of thing. It's been going on for months now with the help of Quite Great, to perform the Gael's Vision live in Coventry at the Belgrade Theatre for 2 nights, with the new lineup and with back projection, and we are going to video it again, and also using the original orchestral backing tapes for where the orchestra are playing, including with the band, which means all sorts of problems in terms of playing to backing tapes or whatever else and all that. So this is hopefully the penultimate Gael's Vision.